Rise and Energize Her Morning Show is brought to you by Mogul TV Global Network, the #1 streaming TV network for positive programming in the Mid-Atlantic. To learn how you can energize your business and brand with media, visit www.themogulchannel.com.
Energize her, unleash her full potential. Rising strong, unstoppable, essential. She's breaking through, reaching for the sky. With fire in her heart, she'll never be denied. In the face of every challenge, she stands tall. With courage blazing bright, she conquers all.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Affirmative Action. If you've been around for a while or you're just coming on, it's not the affirmative action associated with discrimination, but where we affirm the actions of those in our community, highlighting their achievements, highlighting what they offer to the community, and what strive and changes they are doing using the power that they have. You've heard this name before, but I am so excited and delighted today to have in person with me attorney Amina Willard, known as the People's Attorney. She is an advocate for rights. She is an advocate for making sure that those in authority do what's right. And she definitely have a heart for all of those whom she served, both in the lawyer capacity as well as in the nonprofit capacity. So we are so excited to have her with us today. And we're just going to talk and pick her brain a little bit about knowing your rights, interactions with law enforcement, interactions with the legal systems. So welcome, Amina, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Just briefly, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I've been a criminal defense attorney for 25 years. When I first started in the practice, I focused on juvenile defense, and then I did adult and juvenile criminal defense, which I've been doing again for 25 years. And I'm getting into civil rights litigation right now.
And I like to ask all attorneys this: what motivated you, or just briefly tell us what made you want to enter or get into the legal field?
So when I was 14 years old, I saw a documentary where a guy had been in prison for about 20 years. Then they came up with some new scientific methods that determined that he was not guilty. So then he was free. And that kind of broke my heart, because I don't think anyone should be locked up for any amount of time if they're innocent. And that's what started me I decided that I wanted to be a lawyer at that time.
Okay. And so for the last 25 years, primarily you've been defending people.
Criminal defense.
Okay. Yes. And making sure that, even if they've been charged, that their rights are not violated and processes are followed correctly. Okay. So tell us a little bit. I don't want to give too much away. Just to let you know, Amina will be joining us on the Know Your Rights Summit. But just give us 3 hot topics that you come across dealing with criminal defense, and give it to us from the attorney side and the client side, telling us things that you see that break your heart, things that you see repeatedly that are not correct. And I know I just asked you like a series of questions in one, but the reason I did that is because once you start talking, I don't want to have to stop to interrupt. So
okay, so there are some, I'll call them legal myths. The first one that I think is very important is that the police can talk to your children without you present. So police officers can question children without the parents present. A lot of parents don't know that. And because they think that if the police is ever going to question their child, they're going to get a call, they don't prepare their child to be questioned by the police, because they just don't expect that that's going to happen. So know that they can question your child without you present. and prepare your child to not answer questions. And I had started a kind of a no attitude, no answers campaign that I was gearing towards children. And the no attitude, no answers campaign basically talked about telling your child how to not answer questions in a polite way, not to get angry. But the setting that I've done this talk in is usually with young children that are in school. So a lot of times in school, sometimes there's a fight. Sometimes things get stolen in school. And usually what the teachers will do is they will go into the classroom, ask all 30 students, we're going to give you a piece of paper, write down what you know about this fight. Everybody, in almost in unison, starts writing everything they know about the fight. Those papers are collected and they are given to the school resource officer, who is a police officer in the school. And then people are charged appropriately. So what I try to tell parents to tell your children is that if that happens, tell them that they don't want to talk. They can just put a line through the paper and hand it back in, even though everyone else is writing a statement. But it's important to do that. It's important to do that with kind of with authority. So this is what it looks like. If a teacher asks your child to write something out, they can say, I want to exercise my right to remain silent. I don't want to make any statements. I don't want to write anything down. And then normally what happens when the child does that, they call the parent. And it says, well, your child's not cooperating. And the parent says, you better write this, you better write that. So the parents also need to be on board that if their child is exercising their right to remain silent, then you should support them in doing that. And think about it. School is for them to get an education. So anytime that they're spending writing about a fight, they're not getting their education. It is not your child's responsibility to help the investigators investigate crime in the school.
Okay.
So
tell us a little bit about hot topics or things that you see most in your practice doing criminal defense when it comes to adults interacting with officers, or what are some of the missteps that both adults take when interacting with law enforcement, and what are some missteps that you've seen officers take in dealing with citizens?
Okay, so the most common interaction with law enforcement that usually everyone has is a traffic stop. When the police pull you over, they should be polite, they should be respectful. If they're anything other than that, what I would suggest is that you remain calm and polite. And respectful, but make sure you get that officer's badge number, and you can ask for that number in a polite way. You don't have to say, well, give me your badge number because, I'm going to report. You don't have to do that. Just say, okay, officer, can I have your badge number? Or you can just remember it and just write it down. Usually they're facing you, so you can see their badge information. But maintain your cool, maintain your respect for the officer. And I say that because officers have guns and they will use them. So just maybe basically survive that encounter and then file a complaint. So filing a complaint with Internal Affairs, I think it's a necessary step, but it is not the only step you should take. One of the steps you should take is to call an attorney, explain to them what the scenario is, and ask for their assistance. But when an officer pulls you over, they should be polite and respectful, and you should expect that. You should also be polite and respectful, but once they start, being angry and aggressive, you should just maintain your calm and just get through the traffic stop, file a report later, as opposed to arguing with the officer about you not speeding or anything like that on the scene. Just deal with it in court.
And what advice would you give people who encounter officers who they believe are being discriminatory? And so they are not being polite, or they are escalating situations. You may be trying to keep your cool and be polite. What rights does a person have in an instance where now they maybe even be being threatened, or they feel like they're being racially profiled, or they're trying to even explain to the officer, I know I wasn't speeding, or I know I wasn't going through that. I know I didn't go through that traffic stop, that traffic light, or whatever. What rights do people have, if any?
So if there's a traffic stop, the officers have a right to stop you. It's better to argue any issues you have in court. But I can tell you, when someone is like walking down the street and an officer comes up to them and starts asking questions, those are usually the encounters where you have a right to walk away. So when an officer comes up and talks to you, if they say that the first thing, if an officer starts asking you questions, the first thing you should ask is, am I free to leave? If the officer says yes, you should immediately walk away. If the officer says yes, but I want to ask you a few questions, you should immediately walk away. If the officer says yes, but as soon as he says yes, you should just start walking away. Like, don't answer any questions. If the officer says you're not free to leave, then they should tell you. Now, they don't have to, but they should tell you, we got a call, we're investigating, whatever, and we're just detaining you. Mm-hmm. In that situation, they do have a right to detain you in order to get rid of any suspicions that they have that you could be committing a crime. They only need your name, date of birth, social security number. Anything that's on your driver's license is the information that you give them. If they say, where are you coming from, say, I don't, with all due respect, I don't want to answer any questions. Well, why can't you tell me where you're coming from? You got something to hide? With all due respect, I don't want to answer any questions. If they ask, is the person you're with, is that your sister? With all due respect, I don't want to answer any questions. So the reason I say that is because once they start asking questions, let's say you came from your cousin Brian's house, and Brian, like an hour ago, before you got there, did something that you have no clue what he did. If they say, do you know someone named Brian? And you do, your first response is going to be, yes, that's my cousin. Your answer should be, when they say, do you know Brian? With all due respect, I don't want to answer any questions. So just trust me. If you're having if you have a forced interaction with the police, it should be limited. Only give them your identifying information, and that's it.
And so for our viewers, again, you will be able to get more information in the upcoming Know Your Rights Summit. So, Amina, for one last question, just if people who, don't have a lot of time, they're not attorneys, nobody's going to sit in a law library, is there any guide or database that you would recommend people just to generally familiarize themselves with, to know their rights, the do's, the don'ts, the can and the cannots?
So I'm going to give you my website. I do have some brochures up there. They're not like bullet points, but it tells you about your rights. So it's www.aminalaw.com. Also, Legal Aid has, am I thinking of Legal Aid? I think they have some. I'll have to get you all some links. I'm sorry, ACL. If you Google ACLU, that's what I'm thinking of. Okay. The American Civil Liberties Union. Google ACLU, and they have a number of, they have cards that you can print out and get. So they have a number of resources. Okay.
So that's awesome information. And in the times that we're living in, with all the changes or continued things that's happening in the justice area, having this information is very important. So we really do thank you for coming in, and we look forward to you being able to elaborate even more and take live questions during the upcoming Know Your Rights Summit.
Thank you. I look forward.
So everybody, have a wonderful Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your week. And as always, do what you need to do to stay motivated, to stay grounded, and to stay mentally clear. It's Wednesday. We only got a few more days to go. Enjoy your week, and we will see you here next Wednesday on Affirmative Action.
Hey baby, I'm just gonna check in on you. How's everything going?
Hey Mom, everything's good. Are you headed to meet the new client?
You know it. I have a feeling they're gonna like what I have to show them today.
Well then I know you're gonna kill it. I love you so much and I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you baby. I love you too. I'll talk to you soon.
Deborah Jones is back in the news again. I've got to say, she's got some ego.
She's way too aggressive.
The risk she takes in this market, you wouldn't catch me doing that.
I've seen more humility in a peacock.
Who does she think she is?
Deborah's integrity and honesty shine through in every transaction.
Her dedication to the client is unmatched.
She is really a visionary, always one step ahead in the market trends.
You'll never work with a more dedicated and resilient agent.
I love you so much, and I'm so proud of you.
Hi, I'm Deborah Jones, broker owner of Dominaire Realty. My mission is to elevate your real estate experience through personalized solutions guided by integrity. So call me. Now is your time to shine.
Welcome to Girl Get Up and Wash Your Face, where instead of focusing on the pain, we are diving into the good news, the victories, the progress, and the hope that comes with healing. Today, I have a special announcement that's going to be tied into my topic for today's segment, and I went to title this Love Reimagined. Love Reimagined, and it's all about building something new. And last week, we talked about what a healthy relationship looked like. Yes, it includes healthy boundaries and making sure we don't have those walls up, right? But let's go a little bit deeper today, like what love is not and what love is, okay? Love isn't building up fear. It's not about control. And it's not about a constant uncertainty. Love doesn't require you to shrink yourself to fit someone else's expectations. And when I think about the constant uncertainties, I think about those situationships that a lot of us find ourselves in at our big age, right? Because somebody don't know what they want. They say, let's just go with the flow. Let's just see where this goes. But if you have a goal, whether it's marriage, a long-term relationship, we're not going with the flow. Okay, ladies, we're not going with the flow. They got to know what they want. Okay. So what does love look like? It's mutual respect, trust, emotional stability, and not just stability, but emotional safety. Like, ask yourself, do I feel safe with this person? Not just if someone was to come up and try to rob me, does he have my back? But do I feel safe enough to talk to this person about my feelings? To talk to him about when I'm feeling down? Or even tell him when he's wrong. Like, if you can't tell your man or someone you are dating that he did something to hurt your feelings out of fear of how he's going to respond, that's not love. But love is a partnership between two people that's going to be able to pour into each other and not just take. Yes, relationships require giving, but it also requires taking on both ends. And I love just the scripture from 1 Corinthians 13 through 4 through 7 that talks about love, but love is patient, love is kind. Look that up when you have some time. Look up 1 Corinthians 13 verses 4 through 7, and it gives you a breakdown of what love is. Love is going to require wisdom. And where do we get this wisdom from? We get wisdom from our experiences from past relationships, and understanding that we sometimes have to shift our perspective on what love is. Because love isn't just about feelings, it's about our values and alignment. And so that's why it's so much more than the outside surface of, oh, is he cute? Does he have money? Does he have a good job? No. Does he have good values? Do you share similar values and morals? Are you aligned with each other? Can you consider him to be your purpose partner? the wisdom that we get from these past experiences, it teaches us, is this something that I can live with or not live with? Is this something that I can tolerate in my life with my family? And for those of you who are trying to start over, if you have children, it's no longer just about you, but it's also about your children. Okay? So, how do you prepare your heart for what's next? You have to be emotionally ready. Taking the time to heal, taking the time to release those things from the past. We talked about emotional baggage a couple of weeks ago. Have you opened up that bag to deal with those emotions one by one to heal? Because the truth is, we don't want people to bleed on us because of their past pain and their past hurts, but we also don't want to bleed on someone else. Is there a spiritual alignment for yourself? Are you seeking love that aligns with your faith and values? Because it can be cute in the beginning, but when the honeymoon phase is over, you got to get past the surface level conversations. Being able to see if you have things in common. So my homework assignment for you today is for you to write your love vision. What kind of partner do you desire? Not just in looks, but also in character. How do you want to feel in your next relationship? And what will you bring to the table? So remember I said I had an announcement, right? My announcement for today is I am working with a dating coach. Her name is Alicia Bennett. And we are working on an anthology book called Love Reimagined. Yes, Love Reimagined. I am so excited about this book. And so we are looking for those individuals, not just individuals, but couples too, who want to share their experience about how love has been transitioned for them, that it doesn't look the way that we expect love to look. And so if you feel like you are one who wants to share your story, then this is definitely the time for you to reach out to me, okay? Because you can share your story, your journey of love, growth, and healing with the world. And we are seeking these individuals and couples to contribute to this anthology. Love Reimagined, stories of transformation, healing, and connection. So reach out to me, danawatson.elevate, ELEV, 8TE @gmail.com, or find me on social media, Coach Dana W, Dana Barnett Watson on Facebook. And it's time for you to share your story. It's time for you to write your story. And so I hope you will join us. So girl, get up and wash your face and thank God that you get another chance to rise, reclaim, and renew your strength. Take care, everyone.
All right, y'all, welcome to another episode of Healthy Chats. I'm your host, Carleeka Basnight-Menendez. Today, we just want to talk about family. As we're approaching spring and different things and springing forward and things are blossoming, one thing that's at the center that sometimes we really don't pay attention to the most, let's blossom our families. Let's grow our families mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, building that generational wealth, building emotional intelligence, building leaders right in your home. And so here's some tips that I just want to share with you. One, we often hear that family over everything. Family is everything. And the reality of it is there are a lot of broken families. There are a lot of families who are not speaking to each other, holding unforgiveness, angry, not speaking. And we hear all the time, and you may even been one of the people that say that life is short. Well, if we really believe and know that life is short, why are we at so many odds and so separated in our families? So as we're springing forward and things are blossoming all around us, take time to pour into your family. Take time to have meaningful, effective conversations. Take time to learn how to communicate effectively. I was having a discussion because I am back home with my family, and some of you all may know I travel for work, and so there are times that I'm gone months at a time, right? Similar to people who are on deployment and different things. And so where your family dynamics is changed up, right? And so as I came back home and different things, excited to be around family, it's a transition for all of us, a transition to be home for 30 plus days consecutively, right? After being out for a minute. But nevertheless, what do we have to do? I have to understand everyone has a routine. Depending on the dynamics, if you have toddlers, if you have young adults, or you have teenagers, your demands, the needs are different in your household. So when my children were younger, yes, I cleaned, I cooked, I did all of those things. But now I don't have to do all of those things, right? They meal prep, they have their own agendas. One thing about it though, one agenda that we want to keep and be effective is praying together, praying individually. And so a lot of times, some things that we may be complaining about, there's someone out there yearning and wishing that they could do that, right? Due to a death, or just due to separation, or due to not being in the best place with their relationship, whether that's with parents and children or siblings or whatever that may look like. But one tip I want to share with you is pray together, right? Individually, you can pray individually, right, with individual members in your family, and then take time to pray collectively. Take time to put the phone down, right? Take time to get off of social media. Take time to really be in the present moment with your family. And I know all of us are most of us are guilty of, we watch TV, we have the phone, we're talking, we have the phone, but really being in the moment, because one thing for sure, once our family members are gone, those moments will only be memories. And what will your memories be? Will it be that while they was talking to you, whether it was something important, were you dismissive to them? Did you just try to justify your actions? Were you really actively listening when they were talking? Or what will your memories be that I was engaged, I was emotionally connected? And that's one thing that we're seeing a lot of, where family members, even inside the homes, people are not emotionally connected. There's an emotional disconnect, right? And so if you know that is an area in your life, let's have a discussion with your family. It's far for me to even understand how people are not able to communicate, right? Communicate their feelings in a safe space. This is how your atmosphere in your home, and when you're around your family, this should be a safe haven. And I know I'm not oblivious to that. That's not everyone's story. That's not everyone's testimony. But are you going to keep the generational brokenness and let it just keep going? Or are you going to be the person that stands up? Are you going to be the person that says, stop, no more. I'm not going to do this to my children, what was done to me, and then what was done to your parents? Or are you going to break the cycle? Or are you going to be a part of the cycle that just keeps repeating the same behaviors over and over again? And I get it. We're going to be hurt sometimes. I've been hurt by family members, whether it was words, whether it was actions, or the lack thereof of keeping a word, right? I've been on the end where I've hurt members of my family members as well with something that I said, whether it was intentional or unintentionally, right? But the point is, it affected them, it hurt them, but I didn't stop there. I did not just say, oh, let me justify, let me give you a reason, because we know right from wrong. And so when you know right from wrong, any justification for wrong is not even a justifiable. Let's just be real. When someone hurts you, you're not trying to hear their reasoning. Just take accountability. So some things that I've done, even in my own family, that I continuously do, I'm quick to repent. I'm quick to ask for forgiveness. I'm quick to say, hey, this was the problem. Let's talk it out. Let's get a solution. Let's get a solution. And yes, you may have your journey that you have to go through therapy, counseling, whatever, take time out. And maybe you're not in a place to have certain conversations, but when would you be in a place? Or are you choosing to just be stagnant? And so family is everything. And we don't choose what family we was born into, right? But what we do get an opportunity to choose is how we move every single day, how we interact every single day, how we create moments and memories, how we create movements within our families. How do you create, what is the movement that you're creating in your family? Is it a movement of brokenness? Y'all know I be having hot flashes. Is it a movement of, okay, we're not victims, but we're victors? Or is it a movement of let's build generational wealth? Is it a movement of let's equip and empower and educate one another? Is it a movement of let me support you, not just because you're family, but because I believe in you? Because oftentimes what we hear and what we have seen too is that you will see people support and do for other people that are not their family, sometimes more than they would do for the ones that live with them or the ones that are connected with them. Isn't that weird? I mean, I find that strange. I find that weird because I'm not one to pour more into people on the outside than what I do inside of my own home. And I know so many things are taking place around the world, but one thing that you can do, your place and your home that you go to every single day, what changes are you making there? What stands are you taking there? Are you saying, for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord? Or are you saying, for me and my house, we're going to do whatever we want to do, however we want to do it, and who's going to check us, right? What stand are you taking in your household? Start there. Everything starts at your kitchen table. And so because life is too short and family is everything, embrace your family, engage with your family, and enjoy your family. Take care.